Hello there. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Today, we're doing another quick-fire pod discussion on new technology. Thanks again to Rohan, Australia's account director for the asset-intensive industry at Certus Digital, for being here. How are you going today, Rohan?
I'm doing well, Paul. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Now, today's business challenge is we're currently not really understanding what data we collect and how this can help us to be a more sustainable business. One of the things that sort of strikes me on this, and it's a terrible story to tell, but Viagra, the invention of Viagra was actually kind of by accident because the company that created it, Pfizer, wanted to create a drug that helped people with heart conditions. But their data, when they were collecting it, showed it didn't really help as much as they thought it would, but they found other uses for Viagra by looking through that data. So I find the idea of using data in a way that you might not necessarily expect absolutely fascinating, because you never know what you're going to get out of it. I'm kind of curious from your perspective.
Inventions, Paul, in the world are accidents. So, you know, uh, to be
Yeah,
honest, I haven't gone to the stage of using that as of yet, but good to know.
no comment. I was going to say, from your perspective, what is the importance of understanding the data that you have in front of you?
Well, I think data is, people call data by different names. They call it liquid gold, or they call data is king, or data is cash. And by virtue of understanding that importance of data, it's extremely important, understanding what data you have. But at the end of the day, rubbish in, rubbish out. So unless until you collect the right data and what you want to input to your system to get the right output, it's not going to help for you. So one of the key points is decision making. We all want to make decisions based on data. We collect copious amount of data, from market, from customers, from your assets, from your IoT devices, from your visual inspection devices, all of these devices, and the data gets in. Uh, we've seen a change in the industry where people who would be in an organization for 20, 30 years are coming to the age of retirement, and they soon will be moving out of the organizations. The young people who are taking over are making decisions based on data. So we call them as data driven decisions. And it's very important to have the right data in their decisions. Once you have the right data, then you can make your performance evaluation based on the data. No data that you consuming, is that accurate data and leading to a performance improvement, or is the data not right and leading to performance degradation? If that's a word, but to analyze the performance in that. From a retail perspective, you give a lot of customer insights in terms of what the customer buying patterns are, where are they buying from, which websites are they buying from, how long does it, what's their attention span on your website. So all of those data in our industry, which is a asset intensive industry, we collect data from our assets, we collect data from our supply chain, collect data from our suppliers. So all of that is important, and especially when we talk about ESG, impending reporting, is quite important to have the right data.
When I was working in retail, because I used to work marketing in retail, that sort of data collection was really important to be able to inform what I was doing and decisions that we were making, and how we planned things going forward. For the asset intensive industry, what sort of challenges are typically faced if you don't understand what the data is that you've got?
Many challenges, or many impacts. You don't have the first thing, it leads to inaccurate decision making, right? You need to make your decisions based on your asset performance. How's your asset performing? For example, if you don't have the right data on your assets, you would continue to maintain your assets Sometimes we call that as over maintenance of asset. You just don't have to go out and maintain your asset or bring the whole asset down for maintenance because it says so in manual. You can always have those data sets that provide you the health of your assets by doing monitoring. And based on that data, you could actually take a call whether you need to bring this asset down for maintenance tomorrow, or you need to bring that down for 6 months. A 6 month period is quite a long period for the asset to continue. So the return on investment on that asset, or return of asset, the return on investment on the asset is quite large. And we see that challenge in our industry, and that is where products like Maximo, in the roadmap that they've shown, in terms of your visual inspection of your assets, your uh, maintenance of your assets, all of those leads to top decision making.
So, what are some strategies then for maximizing the potential of your data?
Different The strategies are pretty straightforward. When you collect the data, you need to organize that data in terms of understanding what data you need, what data you don't need. Right? You collect a lot of that. Just collect, and at the end of the day, when you want to look for something, you don't know where to look for. It is important for organizations to analyze what data they have. Certus being quite vocal in that space, we always provide our points of view to our customers. We've got several customers in utility and energy space who have a lot of data. We go in and uh, offer them maturity assessment in terms of, we do asset maturity assessment, how mature your assets are, but we need to go and understand how mature is your data. Are you collecting the right data? Is the information that you're collecting would actually can be confused decision? We help them analyze that data. One of our ignition, which is a Certus Group company, we look at data quality frameworks. We put those frameworks in place for collecting data. Then, it's I would say it's a scientific way of collecting data and harnessing that data, making those right decisions based on.
So, those strategies sound really good. Are you able to give me an example where you've seen this work, where this has been put into action?
There are many companies who do that. Everywhere you look, people are environmentally cautious, and a lot of sustainability planning. One example that I was reading the other day was about uh, who collect and analyze data on their water usage, greenhouse gas emission, waste generation, and sustainability sourcing. What they've done, they've applied that data that they collect to, you know, package and repackage their products differently for different markets. For example, uh, markets where the supply chains are a bit rough, bad roads, etc. In emerging countries or third world nations, they've got packaging which is a bit more toughened to avoid waste. Where um, in developed countries, they have packaging which are more adaptable, packaging which is more straightforward to carry and transport. Uh, so with that, they can understand what products or what packaging to use for different markets. It's just one example, but that makes a huge difference. To also analyze, uh, materials, and once you start looking at what packaging material you want to use, then you start about the supply chain of those materials. How are they sourced, how are they supplied? All of those contribute to the final end result, and that's how they try and achieve sustainability goals. I mean, it's one point of their major sustainability campaign, but small data-based, data-driven decisions help make those things work for you.
Fantastic. I think you've answered all my questions. And even with the slight technical difficulties I've had today, it has been very, very informative. Thank you very much, Rohan, for giving us all the answers and helping us out with this. What we're going to do is in the comments section, we'll leave your contact details and Certus's contact details so people can reach out if they need any more information or want to talk to you about something really specifically to do with asset management, not to do with little blue pills. That's a very different conversation that they might need to talk to a doctor about. If people want to download the other episodes that we've got of these quick pods, they can track those down. There's a whole bunch of them out there for people to be able to access everything. Until next time, thank you very much for listening, and we will catch you later.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you for having me. Happy to help.